Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to take a look at the top 10 robots leading into 2020. I know you guys have been patiently waiting for this one, and I've also included top builds for the robots which you'll see highlighted at the bottom of the screen once we get rolling, and I've also made some honorable mentions which will appear right at the end, including my top pick as far as Titans go up until this point. So let's get started with the number 10 pick this year, the Tier. The Tier is a great support bot with the ability to heal both itself and teammates. The recent buff with the heal bomb makes it especially effective when having to heal multiple teammates in a hurry. In terms of strengths, obviously the healing and the strong physical shield. Weaknesses, vulnerable to rockets and flamethrowers, and as you can see at the bottom of the screen, the best builds: Corona Halo, Storm Gust, Storm Shredder, Scourge Spark, Pulsar Marquise. These are the builds I've kind of run on the Tier and found them to be extremely deadly, and definitely ones that I would recommend. And that's the Tier for you at number 10. So moving on, we have the Strider at number 9. The Strider is the only bot in the game with 5 dashes, making it the perfect beacon runner. In terms of strengths, extremely fast with its 5 dashes. I found many times when I am using the Strider, not only am I using it to get beacons, but I'm also using it to specifically take out any ranged bots or campers. If you have 5 dashes saved up, you can cover that ground between you and that camper very quickly. It has great maneuverability, deadly firepower. In terms of its weakness, while it does have speed, it doesn't have resistance or stealth, and right now we're in a meta where stealth and resistance tend to dominate the battlefield, and this bot has neither of them. So the best builds in my opinion: the Glory Halo, Calamity Spark, Exodus Blaze, Glacier Rime, Ember Halo, and those are the builds that I would recommend for any player who does decide to run the Strider. Taking the number 8 spot this year, we have the Loki. So the Loki is the only bot in the game with unlimited stealth, making it an excellent beacon runner. It's also a very good counter to the AlJung. So those of you that do play Domination or Beacon Rush, you will know that the AlJung does not have Quantum Radar, and its ability does not do damage. That pretty much leaves the Loki free to run the battlefield, capturing all the beacons, and the AlJung can't really do much about that. In terms of strengths, the Loki is incredibly fast, especially with Adamant Roadhog pilot skills. It has unlimited stealth, so it's really hard to hit once it's in that stealth mode, and especially when it has those speed skills. Weakness, when it's in stealth, it can't fire, and it's also slow in between modes and doesn't have a lot in terms of firepower. The best builds in my opinion are Halos, Rimes, and Shredders. At number 7, we have the Falcon, more specifically the Traditionalist Falcon or T-Falcon. The Falcon has risen up the ranks this year, which has come as a surprise, especially to me. The Traditionalist skill has really helped this older robot to become one of the hardest bots to kill in the game. I think what really makes a Falcon unique though is that it's a very affordable option for many players. If you are going to take the T-Falcon route, the only thing you really need to upgrade is the Falcon and one weapon, and then maybe save up 1,000 gold in order to get that skill. In terms of strengths, incredibly hard to take down. It's able to push and hold beacons down as well. And in terms of weakness, if you are going to use this T-Falcon skill, it can only fire one weapon, and it's also especially vulnerable to Titans. So the Titans, their weapons and their ability, if we're talking about the Kid or the Arthur, does do more damage to the Falcon, so you got to be careful of that as well. In terms of best builds that I would recommend, the Glory, the Ember, and the Avenger. Pulling a double jump to the number 6 spot this year is the Raven. The Raven, in my opinion, is a very underrated bot at the moment. A recent buff has allowed this older robot to do 20% more damage whenever it jumps, which is essentially a death mark. With its increased firepower and the ability to cover ground quickly, this bot has definitely earned its spot on my top 10 list this year. In terms of strengths, it's a great beacon runner, very versatile, and can be used both as an aggressive brawler but also a sniper. It has the 20% damage boost, which whenever it jumps makes it extremely deadly, especially at close range. In terms of weakness, it doesn't have stealth or resistance, which unfortunately tends to be the current meta. Builds which I highly recommend for the Raven, Corona Halo, Cryo Rhyme, Hussar Marquise, Scourge Spark and Pulsar Marquise. Blasting its way through the ranks at number 5 this year, we have the Blitz. Last year, the Blitz was an honorable mention as I expected it to eventually receive a buff. This older robot eventually got that buff, which has now catapulted it straight to my number 5. This bot not only has speed, it has deadly firepower combined with suppression, making it one of the deadliest brawlers in the game. In terms of strengths, deadly firepower, suppression, burst speed, and another thing too, the weapons on this bot are really low to the ground, allowing it to take out stealth bots such as the Loki without using quantum radar. Weaknesses, it can go down quick if you don't have your ability ready, so make sure that you are always near cover. It has no stealth and no resistance, and the builds that I recommend for the Blitz: Halos, Shredders, Rhyme and Spark. Tanking its way to this year's number 4 spot is the Fenrir. The Fenrir is one of the best tanks in the game, which has both an Aegis shield and resistance, and when you combine it with its legendary pilot, it's extremely hard to take down, similar to the Falcon except it has more firepower. In terms of strengths, definitely its resistance and its firepower, which serves it well in the current meta, where it's all about speed, stealth and resistance. In terms of weakness, it can go down fast when its Aegis shield is knocked down. It's slow, and it's also very vulnerable to AlJungs and Titans. Builds I recommend: the Avenger Storm, Viper Corona, Glory Corona, Calamity Scourge and Glacier Cryo. This year's number 3 spot goes to the Phantom. The Phantom has a very unique ability, allowing it to blink or teleport. Along with this ability, it also gains a speed boost and resistance, making it a favorite choice amongst top players. In terms of strengths, the speed, blink ability, resistance when it uses that blink ability, and it has max speed at level 1. In terms of weaknesses, it's vulnerable once its ability wears off, so make sure that you are always near cover, and it's also very vulnerable to Titans and the Leech. Because of how many weapons the Leech has, it can actually inflict quite a bit of damage to the Phantom. And builds that I recommend for the Phantom: Corona Halo, Storm Halo, Scourge Spark and Cryo Rhyme. This year's number 2 spot goes to the Leech. The Leech has quickly risen up the ranks as being the deadliest brawler at close range, with 4 medium weapons, 90% resistance and the ability to redirect damage. The Leech is not a bot you want to face at close range. In terms of its strengths, definitely its resistance, firepower, speed, and the ability to redirect damage, especially to campers that are hiding behind cover. Weaknesses, it's very weak once its ability wears off, so you got to make sure that you are near cover. After the recent buff as well to Titans, it's vulnerable to Titan weapons and their abilities. Builds I highly recommend for the Leech: Storms, Corona and Cryo. The number 1 pick for 2020 is the AlJung. So the AlJung is the first flying robot to dominate the skies with deadly firepower, stealth and speed. There are not many threats to the AlJung at the moment. It is also the perfect counter to all Titans, as none of them can be equipped with quantum radar. In terms of strengths, the speed, stealth, firepower, corrosion of its built-in weapon, and as I said, it's a direct counter to Titans. Weakness, vulnerable when it lands. If anyone is running quantum radar as well, most can be negated though with phase shift. And build I highly recommend for the AlJung: Avengers, Vipers, Redeemers, Glory, Ember and Glaciers. That concludes my top 10 picks for 2020, and in terms of my top Titan pick for 2020, it is the Arthur. So the Arthur, even at level 3, performs exceptionally well with a strong physical shield and a powerful blast wave, or as I call it, the death bot. It's great at holding down and defending beacons. It's also the perfect counter to leeches, as it does damage both with weapons and its blast wave, whereas the AlJung doesn't. Finally, some honorable mentions which I think are worth watching, as they very well could make it to next year's top 10 list. Thank you guys for watching. In the comment section down below, what is your top 10 list for 2020? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet subscribed, consider subscribing. Until the next video, I'll catch you guys later.